Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new here and you like horror movies, then subscribe to the channel below. Can we get 700 likes on today's video? I'm the host of your channel, let's get started. Once upon a time, in a small town shrouded in darkness and despair, there was a cursed stretch of road that had witnessed countless car accidents. The road, known ominously as Devil's Highway, seemed to have an insatiable thirst for blood and a malevolent presence that fed off the horrors it witnessed. One stormy night, a group of friends set out on a road trip, unaware of the terrors that awaited them. The rain poured relentlessly, obscuring their vision as they navigated the treacherous bends and turns of Devil's Highway. The atmosphere was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the howling wind and the occasional crack of thunder. As they drove deeper into the night, the road seemed to warp and twist, playing tricks on their minds. Shadows danced along the periphery, whispering haunting secrets that sent shivers down their spines. The friends grew increasingly uneasy, their nerves stretched thin. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes appeared in the distance, piercing through the darkness like beacons of evil. Panic gripped their hearts as they realized it was a spectral figure, a vengeful ghost seeking revenge for the lives lost on Devil's Highway. The ghostly presence materialized in front of their car, causing the driver to swerve in terror, losing control of the vehicle. The car spun violently, crashing into a tree with a bone-shattering impact. The friends screamed in horror, their bodies battered and broken by the merciless collision. But the nightmare had only just begun. Within moments, another car emerged from the mist, careening toward them with unstoppable force. It was as if Devil's Highway had summoned a twisted parade of death, where victims were forced to relive their final moments over and over again. The second car crashed into the wreckage, engulfing everything in a fiery inferno. In the midst of the chaos, time seemed to slow down, stretching their suffering into an eternity of pain. The friends, trapped in the twisted metal, could only watch in terror as the flames consumed them. Their cries for help were drowned out by the roar of the inferno, echoing through the night. The spirits of those who had perished on Devil's Highway reveled in their torment. They whispered tormenting voices into their ears, taunting them with their helplessness. The flames licked their flesh, burning away their hopes and dreams until there was nothing left but charred remnants of their existence. The survivors' nightmare was far from over, though. Every time they tried to escape the wreckage, they found themselves trapped once more, reliving the crash again and again. The cycle of pain and despair seemed unending, driving them to the brink of insanity. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months as their shattered bodies slowly decayed. Their screams of anguish echoed through the night, attracting the attention of others who dared to venture onto Devil's Highway. But no one could save them, for the curse of the road was unbreakable. And so, the tortured souls of the car accident victims remained trapped on Devil's Highway, doomed to endure an eternity of suffering. Their anguished cries still haunt the dreams of those who pass by, a chilling reminder of the horrors that await those who dare to challenge the dark forces that lurk on that accursed road. I see you're already subscribed to the channel, and if not, it's your own fault. In the quiet town of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the dense forests, an old legend whispered of a cursed car that brought nothing but doom to those who dared to drive it. The car, known as the Phantom Cruiser, had a twisted history filled with tragedy and despair. Legend had it that the Phantom Cruiser was once owned by a wicked sorcerer who sought immortality. In his pursuit of eternal life, he made a deal with dark forces, binding his soul to the car. But the sorcerer's desires came at a terrible price. Anyone who entered the phantom cruiser would be consumed by the sorcerer's malevolent spirit, forced to experience their worst fears and nightmares. The car became a vessel of torment, luring unsuspecting victims with its allure and trapping them in a never-ending nightmare. One fateful night, a young couple named Alex and Emily decided to take a late-night drive through the town, oblivious to the horrors that awaited them. As they entered the outskirts of Ravenswood, the phantom cruiser appeared before them, beckoning them with its haunting headlights. Curiosity got the better of them, and against their better judgment, they climbed into the car. The moment the doors closed, they felt a chilling presence wrap around them, suffocating their spirits with an icy grip. The engine roared to life with a sinister growl, and they were thrust into a nightmare beyond their darkest imaginings. The roads twisted and contorted, leading them through a maze of shadows and phantoms. The car seemed alive, its seats shifting and trapping them, restraining their movements. The sorcerer's spirit whispered vile incantations, his voice echoing through the cabin, filling their minds with fear. As they drove deeper into the abyss, their surroundings morphed into a nightmarish landscape. Faces appeared on the trees, twisted and contorted in pain. Ghastly apparitions clawed at the windows, their ethereal hands leaving streaks of blood as they desperately sought escape from their own torment. The car's speed increased, hurtling them through a vortex of time and space. They witnessed their worst fears come to life, a barrage of phobias and terrors, each more horrifying than the last. The sorcerer reveled in their suffering, his laughter echoing through the air like a demented symphony. Hours turned into days, and days into an eternity as Alex and Emily fought desperately to break free from the clutches of the phantom cruiser. Their minds and bodies were battered, their souls on the verge of breaking. But within the depths of their despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. Emily, driven by her indomitable spirit, managed to summon an inner strength she didn't know she possessed. She reached deep within herself, finding a wellspring of courage and resilience. With a surge of determination, she channeled her energy into breaking the sorcerer's hold on them. As her willpower intensified, cracks appeared in the car's cursed facade. The sorcerer's laughter turned to furious screams of rage, his power waning. The phantom cruiser shuddered under the strain, its grip loosening. And in one final surge of strength, Emily shattered the sorcerer's hold, banishing his spirit from the car forever. The phantom cruiser screeched to a halt, its malevolence dissipating into the night air. Alex and Emily emerged from the car, battered but victorious. The curse had been broken, and Ravenswood was finally free from its haunting presence. From that day forward, the phantom cruiser stood as a testament to the power of courage and resilience. It remained a relic of the past, a reminder of the darkness that can lurk within even the most innocent of objects. I'm following you. You haven't liked it yet. Deep in the heart of the countryside, there was a desolate and abandoned road known as the Haunting Highway. It was said that those who dared to venture onto its crumbling asphalt would be plagued by the vengeful spirits of car accident victims, forever trapped in a cycle of horror and despair. One moonlit night, a group of thrill-seekers decided to test their courage by exploring the Haunting Highway. Ignoring the warnings of the locals, they embarked on their ill-fated journey, unaware of the terror that awaited them. As they drove along the dark and winding road, an eerie silence fell upon them. The atmosphere grew heavy with an otherworldly presence, and an unnatural fog began to swirl around their vehicle. Panic tightened its grip on their hearts, but curiosity and adrenaline urged them forward. Suddenly, a ghostly figure materialized in the distance, standing in the middle of the road. Its hollow eyes glowed with an ethereal light as it beckoned them closer. A chill ran down their spines, but the group pressed on, their fear mingling with morbid curiosity. As they approached the apparition, it vanished, only to reappear directly in front of their car. The driver slammed on the brakes, but it was too late. The car collided with the ghostly figure, sending shockwaves of terror through their souls. The impact jolted them into a nightmare realm where time and space became twisted and distorted. The road stretched into an endless abyss, surrounded by a macabre landscape of twisted metal, shattered glass, and the anguished moans of tormented spirits. They found themselves trapped within a never-ending loop of the accident, forced to relive the horrifying collision again and again. Each time, the outcome was the same: bones shattered, bodies mangled, and screams of agony echoing through the night. Desperation consumed them as they realized there was no escape from the clutches of the haunting highway. They clawed at the doors, shattered windows, and battered their bodies against the metal confines of the car, but all their efforts were in vain. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months as their sanity began to fray. The once close friends turned against each other, driven to madness by the relentless cycle of pain and terror. They accused one another, each blaming the other for their dire predicament. In their darkest moments, the group noticed a subtle change. The spirits that haunted them appeared to grow stronger with each iteration of the accident. They whispered malevolent secrets into their ears, their voices dripping with malice and despair. One by one, the members of the group succumbed to the ghost's whispers, losing themselves to the darkness. Their minds shattered, their souls consumed by the ever-present horrors. The last survivor, paralyzed by fear and grief, watched as their companions transformed into tormented apparitions, forever condemned to haunt the haunting highway. Alone and teetering on the edge of madness, the survivor resolved to break the cycle, to find a way to release themselves and the trapped spirits from this never-ending nightmare. They delved into the dark history of the road, unearthing long-forgotten rituals and incantations. With trembling hands, they performed a desperate ceremony, calling upon ancient forces to break the curse that held them captive. The air crackled with anticipation, and in a blinding flash of light, the spell took hold. The cycle shattered, and the survivor found themselves back on the haunting highway, but this time, the road was empty and silent. The spirits had been freed, their anguished cries silenced forever. It was a bittersweet victory, a release from the horrors they had endured but haunted by memories of the friends they had lost. As the survivor emerged from the haunting highway, they vowed to warn others of its malevolence. The road would forever stand as a grim reminder of the price one pays for tempting fate and delving into the realm of the supernatural.